industrial revolution is still very young, so it's still evolving, and that's why we must position. And if we are positioned for ourselves and we are way ahead, then we can be so relevant. We would have a first mover advantage and we can be so relevant. Now, don't let your geography limit you, because now you can work remotely. You can be working for a company in Canada or in the US, and you are in Nigeria, still earning their currency. So, don't let that limit you. Look, back to my point. In medicine, they are developing a technology that, when treating cancer, it's not just that you are doing chemo and just trying to attack, and the therapy is having an effect on all the cells around where the tumor is. But precision technology can launch something that can attack all the cancerous cell specifically without affecting other cells. It will freeze it and stop its growth. So this is the age of precision. It's the age of precision, and that is where we are. So you must be skilled in either use of data, use of artificial intelligence, robotics and the likes, for you to be effective. It doesn't matter the industry you are. Now remember that even in the information age, IT has changed the way products and services are offered. And that's why you can buy goods online. So how much more in this age? You can't be blacked out. So, positioning yourself for it. Now, we will do more of that on Saturday, looking at some specific skill sets that can be available and where you can learn those skills. And then some will be introduced to it right here. And probably you can develop forum, public or mentorship forum, where you can continually develop, self-develop and learn and keep learning and keep learning. And, of course, learn the business side of it. But when you learn the things, when you learn the skills and position yourself appropriately, you can start earning beautifully, handsomely, as you choose to use the language. But what is the end point? What is the goal of making good money or money making? Can somebody try and react to that? Because I'm trying to transition into the next thing, which is financial literacy class. So, I'll just use this to take a break. Please, also, if you have questions based on the things we've said, you can please come and ask now. But can somebody help me with this mic? Take it round. Let me hear from people. If there is any question, then let's get the feedback. What do you think is the end goal? If you're saying, I want to get a relevant income skill and be making money around, what is the goal? What's the end point? What's the end game? So in between, the financial literacy class I've started. I hope you noted something down all the while. So, you can give it to anybody to react. Let me use that moment to take a little break. You said?
She did not get the question.
She
did not get the question.
Okay. Why do you want to have a job that pays you money? It's as simple as that. Or why do you want to make money? Abi, she hates money.
I want to make money because I want to impact life. That's number one. To impact life.
Oh, to impact
Yes, that's
lives.
number one thing. To impact
Okay,
life.
okay.
And also to
And also what?
and also
To meet your own needs.
yes.
All right, let's have somebody else. Okay, let me coin the question in another way. If you've made all the money you need to take care of your needs now and in the future, what exactly will you be doing with your time, with your life? I want a male and female perspective. Oh yeah, let's be quick.
Sorry. That question, it's actually straightforward. Well, most likely, there's a saying that you don't know your true self unless you're actually very, very, very rich. Because if you have the money you need now and in the future, I can bet it without God's direction, most everyone here will go astray.
But let's say,
But on my own perspective,
from your own inclination
I
now,
have the money.
what will you be doing with your life? You have all the. You don't need to think about money again.
I don't have to think about money again.
Yeah, about making money. You don't have to look for money again in your life for anything at all. To send your children to Harvard or MIT, you don't have to think about money. What exactly would you be doing with your life?
Well, I'll be off on maybe a remote island actually.
You said?
I'll be off on any remote island actually. Because if you have that kind of money, I'll be off on any remote island to be actually be with myself.
Oh, you would isolate yourself in a remote
Actually.
island.
Actually.
That's what you would do. I mean, this is the last thing I would probably have thought of. Okay, he would just sentence himself to a permanent holiday. I get. Who is next? Let's have a lady. Let's have a lady. So you don't need to think about money again. If your children want to go to MIT or Harvard, any Ivy League school, don't worry. $200,000 to take care of your schooling all through. Boom. What will you be doing with your life? Please speak up now. Who is with the mic? Huh? Oh yeah, speak up. Let me just have your opinion. Let me have your opinion.
Okay. I will impact lives and then
How? How will you impact lives?
and give to the I've been now
With what?
money that I have.
No. Will you be using the money to buy clothes for people
Mickey Mouse soon.
or beer
The magic.
or cigarettes? I don't know. How would you? That's an impact too.
Make I the rest.
Impact could be in any direction.
I go sleep, I go wake up,
You,
go shopping. Make I the drum like that, don't like
it's
that.
a baby girl lifestyle. Clap for her. Okay. Sorry, I want to pick on some people. Let me pick on Shalom and Joshua. Joshua, because I've been hearing his voice from here. So, Shalom, in a minute.
Okay, if I do not have to think about money again, it's a lot of things that I would do. It's just a lot.
Like
Maybe
what?
not.
You can mention 2 or 3.
Okay, number one, we go run some big boy lifestyle now. I will just buy one Benz, I test drive and check out. You know, deal, right? Okay, it's okay, but it's not my taste, you know, stuff like that. And then, definitely, serve God with the resource.
You said?
Serve God with all the resource.
In what capacity?
In what capacity? Number one, if you run some projects, right? I can talk to youth presidents. We can work on some things.
Work on some things like what?
Okay, they said we can break down the church and build it in 3 days.
I didn't hear that. I didn't get that.
They said we can break down the church and rebuild it in 3 days.
Okay, you can destroy this temple and raise it up in 3 days. Okay.
What?
Okay, let me have Shalom quickly, just in a minute.
Like he said, the answer is many things. Although for me, I think 2 things that would come to mind. 2 things, just 2, that would come to mind is, number 1, I would spend my entire life building any kind of business I like and failing at it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
I'm just going to be building businesses for fun.
Okay.
And then the second thing that would come up is
I'm listening.
being a kingdom financier.
Okay. Thank you. Let's appreciate everybody who has spoken. Now we are going to the financial literacy class. Please take your jotter, and I will have to be a little fast. Now, your answer to that question is sincerely your purpose in life. No, you know, there are different quadrants of human existence. There is the survival stage. There's a stage of basic needs. There's a stage of comfort and success. There's a stage of self-actualization. What is the highest purpose in life that you need to fulfill before you leave this world? Now, if you are scrambling with meeting basic needs, you are not living life. If you are scrambling with survival and basic needs, you are not living life. As a matter of fact, it has been shown that poverty, living in poverty, has the capacity to reduce your intellectual intelligence quotient by 14 points. Also, when human beings are faced with scarcity, that is when they have a feeling that something is scarce, as you are a single man and lady, if you have that feeling that husband is scarce, you will start acting funny. So you are likely going to act less rational. So financial literacy, the goal is to eliminate scarcity from your life and actually achieve financial freedom. The goal of financial literacy is to eliminate scarcity in your life and achieve financial freedom. So when you achieve financial freedom, it can help you concentrate on your highest purpose in life and you would attain self-actualization. Now, not that you can't concentrate on it while you are broke, but at least. But while you are broke, necessity can distract you and limit you a little. If you will ask me, the 4 cardinal things I'll be doing: 1, gospel; 2, social justice; human capital development, business. And I will want to do it on a global scale if I don't have to bother for money anymore. So, basically, financial freedom is, there are 2 kinds of income that you like. Now, if you don't have an income source, you can't even think about financial freedom. But if you don't have an income source for now, you can actually understand financial literacy against the time you start having income. Now, this is the end game. We're going to learn some good income skills by the end of this week. And the game is that at the moment when by the time you are earning, you should know exactly why you are earning and what to do with your earnings. So, there are 2 kind of incomes essentially. There is the active income, the one that you have to work actively to obtain. Then there is the passive income. The active income is also called the earned income. The passive income can also be called the unearned income. That is, you don't have to work to earn it. There is something probably you have done that is earning the money for you. So, and when I'm talking about work, I'm talking about a routine work. Not that you will do nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. You might still have to take a few decisions here and there, but you are not necessarily under a clerical duty, day-to-day duty for doing this. So, where is now financial freedom? Financial freedom is a point where your passive income or unearned income can take care of your basic needs. Now, basic needs vary, but the most basic, food, clothing, and shelter, right? You can begin to expand the spectrum of your basic needs, like maybe a few entertainments, car servicing, mobility, blah, 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 education, vacation, as it all goes. So we have the 4 quadrants of wealth. The first quadrant, we have the salaried worker. The 4th quadrant for income earning, we have a salaried worker. On the 2nd, we have the small business owner. Then on the 3rd, we have the investor. Then on the 4th, we have the big or automated business. Big or automated business. Now, wherever you are in this place, you can climb to wealth. But essentially, it is through investments and automated business that people achieve wealth. It is via investments and automated business that people achieve wealth. But most of us are either salaried or have a small business. What is our hope? We will see how we can transition as we go by. Now, so let's look at each of those sources of finance again. First of all, we have salary, and there are different types. We have the small income. The small income, with a small income, you can just meet your basic needs. Finish. medium, maybe basic needs, and a little. And with giving you a little extra. Maybe for basic comforts, not much of comfort. Basic need and basic comfort is what the medium income can provide for you. For the high income, it can provide you basic. It can provide for your basic needs or for your basic comforts, and still give you the leverage, good leverage, enough leverage to save and invest. Or no, not necessarily save and invest, and still have an extra. So you can afford a little, with this one you can afford a little luxury. You know the kind of income you earn that, okay, I'm an high income person, I can afford basic comforts, I can save up for vacation, let's say in Seychelles. Then there is the ultra income. For you to earn an ultra income, I mean, you should be in the C circle of a Fortune 500 company, you know. And the ultra income earners are the rich guys. Those who are rich by the kind of salary they earn. People who earn like $1 million and above annually. There are people like that. I remember during the campaign of the gubernatorial campaign of Oyo State in 2019, the current governor then, who was the flag bearer for PDP, was saying that his opponent said that he employs people now, blah 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 blah. He said he boasted that what kind of job does his opponent give? His major opponent then, that his highest employee is an indigene of Ogbomoso and earns $1.2 million per annum. That is ultra income. So it's essentially a rich salary, a rich man's salary, and there are very few people in that world. So, but if you don't have the high income and ultra income, is it that there is no hope for you? I mean, you should be able to assess yourself, your level of education, and the opportunities that are around you. What's the farthest that you can go? So, but notice that your financial destiny is not determined by your income size, but your asset base and income structure. I will say that again. Your financial destiny is not determined by your income size, but your asset base and income structure. You can earn a lot of money and lose a lot of money. As a matter of fact, the more you earn, there is a natural temptation to increase your lifestyle. Then there is also one thing that catches up with increase in income. It's called inflation. And recently, economists have developed another term. We know of inflation and deflation. Anyway, in Nigeria, we practically don't know what deflation is. But we practically know what inflation is. But they've developed another term called stagflation. That is when there is stagnancy in economic growth and in the growth of people's income, yet there is increase in the cost of goods and services. So essentially, it is not your income that determines your financial destiny. It is the assets base that you have and the structure you've put around your income. Now, so for the small business, basically a small business is that one that is dependent on you. It doesn't have the structure that is independent of your day-to-day participation in it. Then the brand of a small business is largely synonymous to the owner of the business. Largely, it is synonymous to the owner of the business. The brand is largely synonymous to the owner of the business. And that is why you must develop a brand outside of yourself. if you have a vision. That is one of the things you begin to do, to be big. So a big or automated business is something that is functional and independent, have a functional and independent structure. Your role in that business, you can be part of a business, be going to office every day, but your role is that business is directly the proximate cause of, the proximate cause of profitability. That is, if your business is manufacturing, let's say, something, a particular commodity, and then you can just be there and making sure that you have studying your market, you are ahead of technology, you are ahead of the market. That is all you just need to do. The details, the multi-level, the details of other things are well and effectively handled by others. So, you can do away with clerical role, or clerical role also means day-to-day running and still get profits. So that's a big or automated business. It is very essential for not just a business, not just to be big, but to be automated. That is, it can function without you. And that is because if you have a big business and it cannot function without you, then it might be earning you sufficient income, but that income is not passive enough. You must structure it the way that everyone's role is defined and they keep running things with or without you, and you are still getting profits. That's the most important thing. So now we'll go to investments. Investments, some of the easiest place for you to build wealth. Now, these tools, your work, your job, your small business, will help you build wealth. But some of the easiest place to enter, to plan your wealth as you grow forward, is through investment. Now, when it comes to investment, there are different ways to invest. The first is stock market. Now, I'm not an expert at stock market investments. If you have a stockbroker of a friend that likes you, he can tell you the truth about stocks. Stocks are fluctuative, the rise and the fall. That's just what it means. So, they must help you to identify what stock is good for you to invest in. Now, there are three kinds of stocks you can basically invest in. Startup stock. Now, just imagine that your dad invested for you $100 in Google, 1998 when Google was starting. How rich would you be now? If you had invested $1,000 in Tesla when it was starting, when it launched its IPO, Tesla, how rich would you be now? So, my own advice is, there are disruptive or revolutionary startups. When you look at what they are offering, and you look at the team behind it, you will know that this one has a future. And it is always good to invest in such. It's a gamble. Stock is a little bit of a gamble, but you can also, I'm trying to give this advice so that you don't make a blind gamble. Now, there are other ones that you can invest, publicly quoted companies, big corporations. But before you invest in other corporations, you need to check their books. Of course, understand their team. The team is always very, very important because really it is the team you are investing in. Then, the thing that provides profit for them, the source of their profits, the proximate cause of what is making, why are they making money? NNPC is making money because we are buying petrol from them. So when we don't need petrol that much, it will stop making money. When we don't need petrol again, it will stop making money. That is all. Then look at the macroeconomic influence around what is giving them profit. For example, if this company is selling petrol, and then this year, or let's say 2023, most of the manufacturers or car importers are going to be bringing cars that are not using petrol. And you know, car is the major consumption of petrol. Cars are the major consumption of petrol. Let's say cars consume 70% of petroleum products. Then, it is time for you to sell your stock. If you are investing in most of these corporations, you must know exactly when to sell, because the dynamics of the business within that environment is changing. So you must know that it's time for you to sell off and sell your stock. So you must be smart, knowing when to enter and when to exit. Yes, people do a lot of buying when it is low, when it crashes, and then selling when it rises. Then typically in stock, when there is a sudden surge, boom, boom, boom. When the speed of that surge stops, and you look at the thing bringing profits, and you don't see that it is sustainable, again, then you can sell. But if it is still sustainable, now a lot of people sold their stock in, is it Mixlr or Zoom? Because the rate at which it was growing, the stock was growing, reduced after lockdown was eased in the US and most of the developed world. Now, but the stock is still profitable. There are two ways it grows. There are two ways stocks are profitable. The same thing with bonds. When I get to bonds, I'll mention it. Stocks either increases in value and or produces dividends. So those two things, they can do it even simultaneously. So if the value increases, then you get dividends based on the profit they make. But they are still, if the stock is not growing and it's still producing dividends, good profits, then you can wait. So of course, you must understand, study, if you want to invest in a company, study the pattern of their business, the pattern of their profits and loss over time. So you must actually learn a little bit of how to read a profit and loss account, check the book of the company you want to invest in before you do so. Then there are another kind of companies, some essential companies, they will never go off. Like, don't we all need water? We would always need water. We would always need fuel. We would always need some products and services that we must always need. We would always need electricity. So if you're able to buy those stocks, when telecoms, when MTN was selling their stock, people bought shares. It could fluctuate, but we would always need it. Our life had become dependent on it. So we would always need it. So some of those things can never go out of, especially the very old corporations that are handling those ones. When you have opportunity to get their stock, get it. Then, but I am not banking on stocks. If your risk appetite is lower, then it is better you consider the money markets. I'll have to close maybe in around 15 minutes time. Money markets. What do we have in money markets? We have bonds. We have mutual funds. You can name them. You can please note them down. Check about them later. Mutual funds, deposit accounts, your fixed deposits. We have treasury bills. We have swaps. We have commercial papers. So there are some that are of the short and medium term, but bonds bonds is like stock, like your euro bonds. You can walk to your bank and say you want to buy euro bonds, and they would, and you can keep, the thing is that you can keep growing the amount you have in bonds over time. So bonds, the value of the bond will keep increasing pending the duration of that bond. Then it would also be giving dividends at different times. So bonds is just like stock. So if you have lesser risk appetite, I know that if your money goes down, you can almost have a heart attack. Money market is better for you than the stock market. So, but I'll make emphasis on bonds. Bonds is good for long-term plans and investments. Then, and mutual funds. Mutual funds, now you can even be earning as low as 25,000 naira, and you decide to live on 20,000 and you are saving 5,000 in your mutual funds. Now, as you're doing that, if, for example, you start working at the age of 25, it's good for medium and long-term financial planning. If you start working at 25, and you say that by 45, I want to retire, or I want to do something huge with my money, probably buy a house, I don't have this amount of money later in this future, and you're committing to it. If you do that consistently, I've forgotten there is, I don't have that rate again, but the picture, the visual stuff I used to have, the visual diagram I used to have, was when it was still very functional in Nigeria. We are going there, but it's better you buy it from abroad now. Your bankers can still help you. There are apps that can help you do this. We'll talk about money markets apps shortly after now. You can save up that, let's say even if you're 40 already, that over 20 years that you will retire, if you're saving 10,000 or 20,000 per month in mutual funds, depending on the amount, you can be retiring to as much as 20 to 40 million. Because every month, the interest is compounding for mutual fund. It is compounding. So, for example, if you start working at 25 and you say, I want to keep saving, no matter how poor my salary is in this mutual fund, of course, you can increase what you're saving, and say at 45, I will stop paying rent, and I will have enough to send to give the best education I can afford at that time to my children, tertiary education. You can save up for that. Say, okay, and then you just take money out and buy a house, and probably now start another retirement plan. So you can split it that way. And so because people don't come to wealth suddenly, the average earning in America, just medium earning person, I saw a study that shows that if they commit to some investment schemes like this in the money market, in at least 22 years, they can become millionaires. They can cross the $1 million line, not the high income earning itself. So, this is an option that I would admonish us to deeply consider. So, treasury bills, you invest in projects, they give you interest on it. Commercial papers, same thing, but it's just that one is not with the government. Swaps is also commercial. Deposit account, if you have a huge sum of money and you want to be getting interest on it, you do that as well. So, but deposit accounts and mutual fund might not be working so much in it, but there are opportunities now to invest in foreign bonds, stocks, and money markets generally. And those opportunities are provided by some apps. I am not advertising for them, but you can check by yourself and read up on apps that are good. Some of it is RiseVest, Sophie Invest, E-Trade, RiseVest, Sophie Trade, E-Trade, Fidelity Go. There is Robinhood. I think that is pretty popular too. You can check up and know their ratings. M1 Finance, Ellevest, Ellie in the sense of ELLEVEST. So there are quite a number that can help you, because Nigeria's economy is currently crumbling, and most of the money market options are not that profitable again at the moment. In fact, some, like mutual funds, the banks are not even offering. So many banks are not even offering it again. I've not asked Stanbic IBTC, but most banks are not offering it again. But I know Stanbic IBTC and some of those foreign banks have a way around it. I'm not advertising for any company. So, another thing you can invest in is disruptive technologies. But you have to understand how it works. Disruptive technology, like Bitcoin and some other things, I don't know. If you don't understand something, don't invest in it. But it's better you understand it. Then you can invest in any commercial scheme. Any commercial scheme. Lastly, you can, second to the last, you can invest in commodities. Commodities, valuables, gold, silver, blah, blah, blah. You can invest in oil. You can buy them, You can even invest in agro-commodities. Now, for example, if you have some savings and then you bought, there are things you can buy on the short term. Investment must have a term. You bought, let's say, some agro produce while it is cheap. Let's say like corn. Agbado is trending, right? Okay. You bought it while it is surplus. Dry maize. And then you sold it when it is expensive. So that is like either a short or medium term investment thing. Those are things you can do. Then, so another thing you can always buy is real estate. That you can invest in is real estate. You can buy land. Maybe you have studied the pattern of development that, there is one road that they are building. By the time it gets to this area, the prices of land in these places will go up. And then you invest in those places and you buy sufficient land, and when probably some major infrastructure works through that place and opens the place up for commerce, on the medium term, boom, income. I was listening to a preacher. Somebody approached him that, sir, come and buy land at Lekki. It was many years back. Said, no. One of the most influential people in Lagos said, no, we are Yaba people. What do we do in Lekki? Of course, Lekki is more like a forest, a bush at that time. The swampy bush and not just a regular bush. And, a land that you would have bought for 160,000. And now, each of those lands is being sold for. You can imagine buying a land for 160,000 and selling it for 80 million. I mean, what kind of investment, what kind of business do you want to do and get that kind of a profit? So it's just, if I had known when they did Lucky 98, I would have told my daddy to give me my share of it. Lekki, I said, it was one of the biggest crusades that ever happened in Nigeria by Pastor Adeboye of the Redeemed Church. I would have told him to give him whatever he intends to give me in future as I shares. 100K, I would have bought one Lekki land around the peninsula. And then after finishing school now, I'll just, what do I do with this land? Should I sell it? Sell. I'll sell it, enjoy half of it, go to Songotedo and buy several acres. Now Songotedo is selling for only God knows what. So, understanding timing and pattern would help you see these things essentially. So, basically, there is short-term investment, there is medium-term investment. Short-term is to take care of the immediate needs, the needs that are in the next immediate future. Medium-term, maybe in a year or 2 or 3. Then long-term could be 10 years, 20 years, just like we've mentioned earlier. And so you can imagine you take your savings to make a short-term investment, buy some commodities at the time it was cheap, and sell it at the time it was expensive. You make the profits, and you take the profit to either enter into a medium-term or a long, split it medium-term and long-term. You keep growing. So there is opportunity for upward mobility if you are financially intelligent enough. But sincerely, things are not really easy, but and are easy, but you can so easily overlook it. So that's why you can have an accountability partner to help you. So 4 cardinal considerations when it comes to investment. 4 cardinal considerations. Please, let's note them down. The first consideration is security. I know the first thing normally what you want to look for is the profit. Where's the profit? Show me the money. Show me the money. Money, 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 money. How much am I making? But the first point of consideration is security. How secured is this investment you're making? Can something threaten your title to it or your possession of it? Can you lose it to any factor? How secured? That's the very first thing. The next thing is liquidity. That's how you know if you're making a good investment or not. Liquidity talks about how, if there be any issue, how easily or how soon can you opt out of it and recover your money. Because when you make a bad investment and you are losing, you quickly opt out so that you don't be a bad loser. Then the next one is profitability. We talked about the margin, what you stand to gain or how much you stand to gain. Then there is the velocity. Velocity. That is, this investment, will it be paying me up on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis, annual basis? So how often will I be reaping from it? So you must understand that no investment should threaten your basic lifestyle. That is, you must control what your basic need is, then the rest become an investable cash. Now, it's not like all the money you need to hit to take transport to work, you now go and invest it on something huge. And then it comes out as a huge miss. Do you get? So it's most important that you can separate your basic need. If you are just living around your basic need and you are investing, you are a rich person. You might not be able to flex like others, but you are a rich person. Then, so generally in life there are two essential business models. There is the gold mining or the gold digging and the equipment leasing. Now, it is this terminology was gotten during the gold rush. During the gold rush, everybody was, I suspect that there is gold here. You know, the technology wasn't so advanced to do all those, whatever geologists do this now, and scanning through the rock, scanning through the. So people will go and lease equipment for mining gold, mining equipment, and they will keep digging. Bah, bah, bah. Now, they can dig and dig and never find gold, which is a huge loss. And they can dig and find gold, which is getting a huge fortune. But there is somebody who is making money without taking any material risk. That is the one that is leasing the equipment to the gold diggers, to the gold miners. So you just help me clean my equipment once you're done and bring it to me. They keep paying him. So every enterprise needs some kind of support. Now, you can support them as a businessman. And that is why, if you look at most self-made millionaires, especially in the functional economy like America, the functional capitalist economy, a lot of them wouldn't inherit wealth, first made wealth by selling some services. And that is why one of the very sure avenues to wealth, after all those ones I've mentioned, is sales and marketing. So, and you see some corporations, they will design a multi-marketing, an MLM, multi-level marketing system that you can join, and or affiliate marketing, some things like that, where you don't stand to lose anything, but you have the prospect of gaining, and they'll split their profit with you. So it is an area you should seriously consider, because now we are in the connection economy. Now, during the gold rush, you can imagine if somebody is connecting the gold miners with you that is leasing gold, you get a commission. Or you are the one telling somebody that there is likely gold in this place. Maybe you have one thing that used to see it. And they say, once you strike the gold, I'm getting a percentage. Or when they lease your equipment, I'm getting a percentage. So that is the connection economy, is where we are. So that is why Uber can connect many commuters with many riders without owning a car. That is why Jumia can connect sellers and buyers without having a shop. They don't have a mall. It's just a digital mall. So we are in a connection economy. And that is a source of wealth that you should look at. And that doesn't have to take all your time. It's something you can definitely just run on the side. So please, one way or the other, as you're trying to raise funds, be a member, be a part of this connection economy. So I'll just say, before I round off, second to the last thing is, what should your personal finance structure look like? First, your basic need and expenditure should be separated. And this one, you have to really control it. In the interest of the next thing, which is separate what is meant for your basic needs from what you need to save and invest. The essence of saving should be for investment. That is, it's not just saving and keep. There is no profit in saving money. I will show you the kind of money you should save. So there should be one for investments. If it is a mutual fund that you're investing in, or you are doing a credit scheme, trying to save up money, maybe you want to buy a commodity, you do a short-term investment, or invest in a commercial scheme. That one needs a little discipline. If you can't do it alone, use apps, PiggyVest, some other things that can help you. Then the next one you would have is an emergency fund. You yourself, you don't touch it except there is an emergency. You know, we are in a very bad economic system. Typically in a developed economy, it is recommended that your emergency funds must be able to take care of your bills for the next 6 months. Because what if something happened, your industry have to downsize, you lose your job, and you have to restructure yourself, restructure your career to move to the next industry. You might need to do a 3-month certification. So how will you survive during that time? So then after the emergency funds, there is the miscellaneous. Then an emergency could actually happen and all that. There's the miscellaneous. The miscellaneous could be for your urgent 2K gang, your urgent 2K friends. And it could be for those of you who like to give yourself a treat, go to the movies. Miscellaneous and entertainment, basically. So that is how it should be like. So what's now the last and the final source of wealth? Last and final source of wealth. Now, I'm giving this lecture to you. It's coming from the wealth of knowledge that I have acquired. And I'm communicating it to you. I can form it into a video, edit it, and put it online, and structure it in a way that it can generate income. Do you get what I'm saying? So I will structure it in a way that it can generate income for me. Meaning, the last source of income is your intangible or intellectual property. You have written a book, you've written a blog, you have created. Intellectual property means any fruits of human creativity that is backed with some legal rights. Let me take that again. Your intellectual property is the fruits of human creativity It's not just an idea, it is an expression of an idea. The expression of an idea that is backed up with some legal rights. You put up a song and promote it on a platform, make it go viral. I was telling some people that gone are the days that teachers need to be poor. You are good at a topic that is giving everybody problem. And you just go up there, do a video on it. Maybe advertise that video with a snippet. And everybody is trying to listen to that lecture. They click the link, probably pay you for taking that lecture, for listening to that class, listening to that lecture. You drop a song, you do a video. Now there are skit makers, there are all kinds of things. There are content writers. You don't have to write a whole book before you can make money from your writing. So that is human creativity. That is human expression. You can draw, you can paint. Now there is NFT. And the world is getting increasingly more connected so that you can make money from just the capacity of your mind, from what your mind can create. From what your mind can create. You have invented something, a device or a tool, and it can even be a soft device. There are soft devices, and you put it there, and people are downloading it. You have a page that have a lot of engagement, a lot of traffic. You're getting advertisements for it. So a lot of things. Those ones you don't need to have a capital to do it. The same thing when it comes to sales and marketing. You don't need to have capital. For you to earn salary, you need to have a job. For you to invest in stock, money markets, you need to have a level of income. But where would you get those income from if you don't have a job? You can use your intellectual property. You can, within this connected economy, you can do business. You can do business without capital. So, I can't go further into many things you can do, but, those kind of businesses, multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing, or digital marketing, any kind of thing that you really don't need capital to set up can be some sort of income. So, but on Saturday, by God's grace, we will be looking further into the economic realities and some of the practical skills that we can engage in. So, our time is already up. I just want to give room. If there is, you have critically one or two questions to ask. Is there anybody like that? Any question? One or two? Critically? Anybody? What I hope what we have shared today is clear. What we have shared today is clear. Remember that your financial destiny is not determined by the size of your income. At any level, anybody here can, from job to job, be able, anybody here working in some way, be able to save and invest, even if it is the least, mutual funds. You can be able to do that over the next 20 years and become very comfortable in life. Become very comfortable in life. It might just be that you will cash out and go and invest in something else. Maybe another Euro bonds that will just be paying all your bills. If you have a good amount of money in bonds, in a good bond, that will be paying your bills, taking care of your basic needs, you are at rest already. So don't just work for basic need all your life. That is not life. Yes, life is not in the abundance of what a man possesses. But when want and poverty pounces on you, you can't be psychedelic about it. So, my question is, at what point in life? Now, you can get lucky and hit it big doing something. You might never get that lucky. You might never even get an high income, not to talk about an ultra income, which is most improbable. Do you get an high income salary? You might never get it all your life. But wherever you are, low income, medium income, you can restructure your destiny. I'm telling you, this money market thing, especially the mutual funds, is a very viable tool. Very, very viable tool. Very, very viable tool. So, you have this information today, and with information, I believe you know exactly what to do from the standpoint or from where exactly you are now. So, Reverend, go forth and do the needful. Let me just announce that the bonfire and Asun night of tomorrow has been postponed. It should hold after the youth convention. The exact date will be communicated, and also the date for the World Conference in September will be communicated. So, Saturday is another day again. Let's be here by 10 a.m. and we'll continue from where we stopped, and we'll have several breakout sessions. But all of us need to have some level of skill that can project us in life. So I pray God will help us. So if you have been blessed and impacted today, can you give the Lord a round of applause? So it is just those of you that came here today that can, let me say, have the end game in view. You properly have the end game in view. So Saturday is basically for acquiring the skill sets, and it's been a blessed day. Let's pray as we close. Dear Heavenly Father, we're not taking it for granted what you have helped us to learn today. And for those of us that have not been prudent enough with resources, we ask that you have mercy upon us. Give us another chance to build the kind of financial success and the wealth you desire us to have, so that even much later in life, when the necessities of life are teaming up than usual, when many other people and our peers are having midlife crisis, we can still be comfortable enough to serve you diligently without being subsumed by the worries and the cares of this world. Lord, help us to be circumspect. Help us to make that right decision. Lord, breathe upon us. Perhaps somebody needs to take a job. Somebody needs to take up sales and marketing of a product, either multi-level or affiliate marketing. Somebody needs to market his or her intellectual property. Any source of finance that is before us, probably that our eyes are not open to. Lord, please help us. Help us to see this. Father, this is another critical time. It's another critical time in this age and economy. Help us to make a wise decision, not to be left out, but rather to be ahead. And because of the decision, we'll be like Daniel, who is 10 times better than his contemporaries. So help us to be wise. Breathe upon us. Encourage us, those who have been disappointed in making efforts, and help us to make the very right decision that will be productive. Thank you, Father, for in Jesus' name we have prayed. And may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, fellowship of the Holy Spirit, rest and abide with us now and forevermore. Amen. Amen and amen. Thank you all for coming. So we'll be expecting you again